The story of Captain Kidd, better known as William Kidd, later known as Captain Kidd, was born in Scotland around the year 1654. As a young boy, he dreamed of sailing the seas. When he grew older, he moved to New York and became a sailor. He worked hard and became known as a skilled and brave captain. At first, Kidd was not a pirate at all. He was hired by the English government to protect ships from pirates. He was given a powerful ship called the Adventure Galley and sent to the Indian Ocean to stop sea robbers. He was also allowed to capture enemy ships from other countries. But Kidd's mission didn't go as planned. Many of his crew left or got sick. Supplies ran low, and finding real pirates was hard. Some of his men wanted to attack any ship they found to get treasure. Kidd tried to follow the rules, but he also didn't want to lose control of his crew. One day, Kidd captured a ship that he believed was legal to take, but others thought it was wrong. Rumors spread that Captain Kidd had turned into a pirate himself. That's when everything began to change. This is the story of how a pirate hunter became known as one of the most mysterious pirates in history. After months at sea with little success, Captain Kidd faced a tough choice. His crew was unhappy, hungry, and tired. They wanted treasure, and they wanted it fast. Kidd needed to keep them loyal, or risk mutiny. Then came the Quetta Merchant, a rich Armenian ship sailing under a French pass. Kidd believed he had the right to take it, since England and France were at war. His crew saw gold, silk, and valuable goods. They captured the ship and celebrated. But this capture was risky. Though the ship had a French pass, it also carried goods for English merchants. News of this spread fast. In England, powerful people began calling Kidd a pirate instead of a hero. Kidd tried to clear his name. He let some ships go without taking anything and even avoided fighting other vessels. But his reputation was already damaged. People no longer saw him as a protector. They saw him as a greedy outlaw. Kidd now sailed with a heavy heart. He still believed he had followed the law, but few believed him. The line between pirate and privateer was thin, and he was stuck right in the middle. The sea was becoming more dangerous, not just because of enemies, but because of his own choices. Captain Kidd knew he was in trouble. The people who had once trusted him now wanted him arrested. The English government, afraid of looking weak, called for his capture. Kidd realized he had few friends left. He sailed back to the Caribbean, hoping to find safety. He even stopped in New York to talk to powerful leaders who had once supported him. But things had changed. No one wanted to be connected to a man accused of piracy. Kidd hid the Quetta Merchant and tried to prove he was still loyal to England. Some say he buried treasure on secret islands to protect it until he could clear his name. Others think he planned to keep it for himself. In 1699, Captain Kidd was arrested in Boston. He was surprised. He thought he would be given a fair chance to explain everything, but the people were angry, and the government wanted someone to blame. He was sent back to England in chains, far from the ocean he once ruled. His trial would soon begin, and the world would decide if Captain Kidd was a pirate or a victim of bad luck and false friends. His greatest fight was still ahead. Captain Kidd arrived in London as a prisoner. Crowds gathered to see the man once known as a pirate hunter. Some people cheered, others shouted at him. The newspapers called him Captain Kidd the Pirate, but Kidd still believed he had done nothing wrong. In 1701, his trial began. He was charged with piracy and even murder. The court was full of people who wanted to see him punished. Kidd tried to explain that he had followed orders and that the ships he captured were legal targets. He asked for the papers that could prove his innocence, but they had been lost or hidden. One charge was especially serious: the killing of a crew member named William Moore. Kidd said it was an accident during a fight, but the court didn't believe him. In the end, Kidd was found guilty on all counts. The punishment was death. On May 23, 1701, Captain Kidd was hanged at Execution Dock in London. The rope broke the first time, but the second time it held. His body was hung in a metal cage above the river, a warning to all sailors: piracy would not be forgiven. But even after his death, Captain Kidd's story was far from over. One reason Captain Kidd stayed famous was because of the treasure. Many believed he had hidden gold, jewels, and silver somewhere before his arrest. Stories spread of buried chests on secret islands, maps with red X's, and clues waiting to be found. Treasure hunters searched the Caribbean, New England, and faraway shores. Some even thought Kidd left messages before he died. His legend became a puzzle people wanted to solve. In the 1800s and 1900s, Books, poems, and even pirate movies told stories of kids' lost fortune. Children dreamed of digging up treasure, and adventurers risked everything to search for it. In 2015, divers found a shipwreck near Madagascar that some believed was part of kids' treasure. A silver bar was brought up, but experts later said it wasn't really treasure. The real mystery remained. No one has ever proven that Captain Kidd buried a huge treasure, but that hasn't stopped people from looking. His name became a symbol of adventure, mystery, and hope. Whether the treasure is real or not, the idea of it keeps the legend of Captain Kidd alive. Was Captain Kidd truly a pirate, or just a man caught in the middle? That question has been asked for over 300 years. Kidd believed he had followed the law. He had a license, called a letter of marque, to capture enemy ships. But the rules were confusing, and his enemies were powerful. Some say he was betrayed by those who sent him to sea. Others believe he let greed change him. The truth might be somewhere in between. He didn't steal from every ship. He avoided hurting people when he could. But he also made risky choices that cost him everything. History is full of heroes who became villains, and villains who turned out to be misunderstood. Captain Kidd's story shows how quickly things can change at sea. One wrong step, one bad capture, and a hero can be called a criminal. Even today, historians debate his actions. Was he a pirate? Maybe. Was he always one? Probably not. What we do know is that William Kidd tried to walk the line between law and adventure and lost his balance. Even though Captain Kidd died long ago, his name never disappeared. He became a character in books, songs, and legends. Writers called him the gentleman pirate because of his manners and clever ways. His story inspired tales of buried treasure, secret maps, and brave sea captains. Many pirates in movies and games today are based on what people imagined Captain Kidd to be like. His mix of bravery, mystery, and bad luck makes him an unforgettable figure. Museums talk about him, and children still hear his name when learning about the golden age of piracy. People continue to search beaches and islands, hoping to find his lost treasure. So far they haven't, but the dream continues. Even though he was hanged as a pirate, Kidd's legend is stronger than ever. He became more than just a man, he became a mystery. His story reminds us that history is not always simple. Sometimes the truth hides between the lines of what people say and what really happened. At the heart of this tale is a man, William Kidd. Not a monster, not a saint, but a sailor who tried to do the right thing and sometimes made mistakes. He started as a hero, trusted by powerful people. But the sea is full of surprises, and so is life. Kidd was brave, smart, and loyal to his crew. He didn't always follow the safest path, but he tried to follow the rules. When things went wrong, he stood up and told his side. Maybe he wasn't perfect, but he wasn't just a pirate either. The story of Captain Kidd teaches us about choices, reputation, and how quickly things can change. It shows us that even the most famous names in history were real people with hopes, fears, and dreams. Captain Kidd's name lives on, not just because of treasure, but because his story makes us wonder, what would we do in his place? Now you know the story of Captain Kidd, sailor, captain, legend,